Okay, what's up, YouTube? You know what it is. Pacey Lake Show again, coming at you one more time. I'm about to talk to you guys about this topic. Remember to leave a like, share, remember to subscribe, also turn on notification. Check out my other videos. I'll be putting out videos every day, so check my content out. So, want to talk about this topic now. Obviously, the Warriors are losing to the Sacramento Kings last night, and this has been a major topic on the media, on social media, everywhere. I mean, this has been crazy. I mean, everybody been talking about this, the Undisputed, ESPN, everybody, man. And that's the future, obviously, of Klay Thompson. And obviously, we saw what happened last night. I mean, the Warriors completely got demolished. Sacramento just completely destroyed them. They were no match last night with Sacramento. They just didn't have it last night. For whatever reason, they only was able to put up 94 points. Obviously, Sacramento ran them out of the gym, 180, 118, 94. And for some reason, the Warriors just couldn't have it going. Obviously, Klay Thompson, who was the main topic of this video, 0 of 10 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3. Just a bad performance overall for him. Obviously, you know that he is an all-time great, one of the greatest shooters of all time, top 5 shooter in my opinion. You could arguably say he's the second greatest shooter of all time. But just obviously a bad performance for him, and just overall for the Warriors in general. I mean, they didn't really get much production from their starters. I mean, Kuminga and Moody came off the bench, each having 16 points. But just from the starters, I mean, you know, Jackson only had 2 points. Obviously, Klay Thompson had 0 points. And Steph didn't even have a great game. I mean, it was just a pedestrian game. It was 8 of 16 from the field, 22 points. Wiggins was pretty bad. He only had 12 points, 4 of 11 from the field. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well. They were 10 of 32 from 3. I mean, that's below their standards as a team, because they're a 3-point shooting team and they live and die by the 3. So obviously just a bad game overall. Draymond Green had a decent game. He had 12 points, 6 assists. But overall for the starters, mostly they, apart from Kuminga and Mooney, they didn't get any more production from the bench. And, you know, overall, just not a good performance. They just was not ready for that game. For whatever reason, they just did not show up, right? The Warriors just did not show up. I thought they would have had a better showing than that. I actually thought that they were the better team and they were going to beat the Sacramento Kings. I thought they would have gotten out of there with a win and then they'd go face the Pelicans. For some reason, I just thought that they were the better team. And, you know, Steph Curry didn't have an all-time phenomenal game. So, you know, I guess they live and die by Steph Curry. You know, obviously, that Game 7 last year, Steph Curry went off for 50, right? You know, just for them to win that game. Obviously, it was also helped by the offensive rebounding of Kevon Looney, who didn't really even play much this game. I thought maybe he could have, you know, gotten some offensive rebounds to be a spark plug for them off the bench. But I mean, because they're a small team, they don't really rebound well. But yeah, I mean, overall, just a bad performance. I just want to talk about Klay Thompson and his potential future with the Warriors. Obviously, we know that they're going to have to pay him this offseason. He is a free agent this season. We know what happened with him. Steve Kerr, obviously, having him come off the bench after All-Star break, you know, so, you know, and he was starting Pajemski initially. He eventually got the starting lineup, got back into the starting lineup, but we do know that Brandon Pajemski, I mean, he was starting for Klay for some time, and obviously it took a hit to Klay's, you know, psyche. I think it definitely was something that bothered him. You know, obviously a great player like Klay Thompson, all-time great, future Hall of Famer, 4-time NBA champion. I mean, it is not easy, you know, when you're a star and you've known, you know, success for most of your career, to then have to be relegated to the bench and have another guy start over you that you feel like is not better than you in no way, shape, or form. No disrespect to Brandon Pajemski, but he's no Klay Thompson, right? So obviously that did take a hit to his ego, I think, and obviously got the starting lineup back. He's been playing well ever since the All Star break. He started to pick it up towards the end of the season. Started to shoot the ball a lot better, and actually had a good closing to the end of the season. The Warriors, you know, played well. They closed the season strong. They went on a run and won a good number of games. They had a fairly easy schedule down the stretch, but they did take advantage of it. And obviously, they was able to get into the play-in, right? They was able to get into the play-in, but they just was not able to get the job done. And for whatever reason, Klay Thompson could not buy a bucket. Like he could not throw a rock into the middle of the ocean, man. It was really that bad. Just horrible shooting night. 0 of 10 from three, and you know a lot of Warriors fans have been calling for Klay Thompson's head. A lot of Warriors fans been saying the Warriors need to get rid of Klay Thompson. Don't re-sign him. You know, get somebody else, and you know, or they shouldn't. The Warriors shouldn't pay him. He's trash. All that stuff. People's been very critical of Klay Thompson, which I think is very disrespectful, and it's also very ungrateful to the greatness of Klay Thompson, what he was able to do for the Warriors over the years. Obviously, helping, being a key part of them winning 4 titles. The Warriors win none of those 4 championships without Klay Thompson. Let's keep it real. Klay Thompson was a huge part. I mean, he is one of the Splash Brothers, and he was a great. He was a great help to Curry's legacy and the Warriors' legacy. I mean, Curry wouldn't be Curry without Klay. The Warriors wouldn't be the Warriors without Klay. I mean, you know, Klay Thompson is just, you know, an all-time great, man, and you gotta show respect where respect is due. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, he's not what he used to be. I mean, he got older. Obviously, coming off those 2 injuries don't help. I mean, you think about it, man. Like a lot of guys, you know, don't even have a career after coming off one of those injuries, much less 2. I mean, 2 career-threatening injuries. I mean, you're talking about a torn Achilles, and so he had the ACL first, and then he tore his Achilles after. I mean, for you to have to come back, recover from that, and still have a career after that. A pretty solid career. Won a championship after that, by the way. Was able to win an NBA championship after he tore his ACL and his Achilles. You know, came back and was a huge part in that series. You don't win that championship in 2022 without Klay Thompson, and especially in that Celtics series, he was huge for the Warriors. I mean, Game 6, Klay definitely showed up, and I mean, you talk about a guy that's a consummate professional that, you know, gave everything to the game. You know, gave everything to the Warriors, gave everything to the game, and I think it's disrespectful and ungrateful for the fans, the Warriors fans, to be trying to throw dirt on Klay Thompson's name. You know, I feel like Klay Thompson doesn't deserve that. I get it. You know, he wasn't great in this game, but he was great. You know, he was pretty good, you know, this season, especially towards the end of the season. I mean, he still averaged 18 points a game. He still shot like, 39% from 3, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he shot 43% from the field. I mean, he wasn't far off from his numbers that he typically puts up. I mean, it's not by no means a bad season for Klay Thompson. He still played well, right? I mean, yeah, he's not what he used to be, but that doesn't mean that he was complete trash, right? As people trying to make it out to be. And you know, I'm thinking about the Warriors going forward. I mean, what do you do with Klay Thompson? Obviously, now they got decisions to make, some serious decisions to make right now. You obviously have younger guys on the team like the Moody's, the Kumingas, and guys like that. I mean, you know, what do you do? I mean, you have a guy like a Klay Thompson who is, you know, a future Hall of Famer, a lifelong Warrior, right, and a legend in his own right. You talk about one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time, a guy that was a key part of you guys winning 4 championships, and obviously just a Warrior legend, right? So I mean, you think about all of that, and you now his free agency has come up. Now you got to pay him. So what do you do? What do you do? I think personally, I think the Warriors should pay him because when you think about it, what are they gonna replace him with anyways? What's out there that's gonna be better than what Klay Thompson is gonna provide, even at this stage in his career? I mean, you're not gonna be able to get anything better than the Klay Thompson unless you just want to blow it all up, right? In which case you may as well just trade Steph Curry too, right? But if you feel like you can still compete, which I think they can still compete, I do think that they may need to retool the roster and put some better. They definitely need more size. I think that's one of the glaring issues. You kind of look at them; they're very small in the interior. I mean, if they can kind of surround those guys with better veteran guys that can, some 3-and-D wing guys that can shoot, and then just add some size, I think they could be a pretty formidable team going forward. I don't think it's over. The dynasty is not over in my opinion. I think they still have something left. There's still something left in the tank in my opinion. I may be wrong, but I do think that they got something there. And I think you re-sign because I mean you're not going to be able to, if you still believe that you can make a championship push, at that position with what he brings to the table, you're not going to be able to replace him with anything on the market. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who are you gonna get that's going to be able to provide, and bring to the table what Klay Thompson does, on the offensive end. I mean, and like the way he shoots the ball, I mean, the fact is he still shot 38-39% from three. That's by no means horrible, right? And he is a volume 3-point shooter. So, you have to take that into consideration. You're talking about one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. I mean, it's really hard to replace a guy like that. What are you gonna what's out there right now that's realistic that you guys can get, that's gonna be able to fit that bill, to fit the money that you're gonna give Klay Thompson for the price that you're gonna have to pay Klay Thompson. What are you gonna get? What are you gonna get as Warriors other than Klay Thompson in this market? You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I think you have to pay him. I mean, you pay Draymond $100,000. I don't see why you wouldn't pay Klay, right? You still got to pay him, man. Like, so I would say you pay that man. You pay that man. You pay him a little bit more than what you gave Draymond. If you gave Draymond $100,000, you could give Klay 120. That's just how I look at it. So that's just my opinion, man. I really think the Warriors should pay him. I think he deserves it. He didn't have a horrible season. It just wasn't a typical Klay Thompson season. It was a little bit below what was expected. He did have a major shooting slump during the season. Picked it up towards the end, but obviously, that he's not the same player. He's older. Obviously having to recover from those two major injuries, cost a lot of his game. I mean, he's not the same, due to that, and age, attrition, and coming on two injuries, you're just never gonna really be the same player. So obviously, but he still gives his all. He still plays hard. You know what I'm saying? He's still dedicated to the franchise. He still wants to be there. He's obviously a loyal dude, and he plays hard, man. He plays hard, and he's a guy that's gonna give everything, man. He's gonna give everything. He what I'm saying, regardless of what it is. Like, Klay Thompson, he gonna show up to work. And he just never had it last night. Just never had it last night. Just couldn't buy one for whatever reason. Guys go through shooting slumps, and obviously he's not able to create the same level of separation that he was able to create when he was younger, coming on screens and pin downs. Obviously, that will affect, you lose a step, that's going to affect your ability to shoot the basketball, because now you don't have as much space, to really catch and really and lock and load. You have to, you don't get as much space, so your shots end up becoming a lot more difficult. So I think that's really what's happening. He's just not able to create as much safe space as he used to. But yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think about that. What do you think? Do you think the Warriors should sign Klay Thompson, re-sign Klay Thompson? Do you think they should pay him? Obviously, you don't expect them to pay him the max, but do you think they should pay him something around what they paid Draymond? Or should they just blow it all up? Should they just blow it all up, get rid of everybody, and just call it a night? Or should they just not sign Klay Thompson and just go after somebody else? Let me know what you guys think, and have a great day. Pacey Dick will sign out. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out more videos. Also, check out my social media. Links are in the description. Have a great day. Pacey Dick sign out. Peace.